stand with Gwilym, who is the World Barista Champion as of 2009?
2009, absolutely.
Okay, so tell us about that competition and what it involved.
The competition is a worldwide barista competition where it's split into regional events and then national events where we find the national winner. And all these national winners, usually just under 60 countries are involved, go to the world finals. This year it was in Colombia.
Okay, great. And so we're here at the Mokka stand at Fine Food. What sort of work are you doing with Mokka at the moment?
I'm doing what I enjoy best, which is making nice coffee and serving customers and getting them to come back again.
Mm-hmm. And what sort of tips, I guess, would you give to baristas these days on how to make a great coffee?
Barista must have a clean machine. You cannot make good coffee off a dirty machine. The second is that baristas must taste their coffee. You can't keep serving a product and not actually know what it tastes like. And the third is you have to care.
What are some common mistakes that you come across when you see baristas working?
One big one is they forget that they're actually in the hospitality industry and they're servicing the customer. When they make a coffee, thank you. When they make a coffee, they're not making a coffee for themselves. The coffee's not about them. It's about representing the farmer and putting a good product out to a customer and getting that customer to come back again.
Okay. So you've obviously done a lot of travelling in your time since your crowning. What are some trends that you've noticed in how people are enjoying their coffees these days? Definitely,
people are recognising that coffee is something that should be delicious. It's not meant to be bitter and unpleasant and you have to pile loads of sugar in. Consumer seems to be moving away from the larger cups. They're not asking us to heat the milk hotter as much these days, and customers are becoming more aware that there are different origins that coffee comes from. Coffee's also becoming a little bit seasonal as well. People are recognising that there are harvest times and that when the coffee lands it actually tastes fresher and nicer. So recently we just had the Kenya harvests arrive, and that's always an exciting time of year. So Kenya, Ethiopia, Rwanda's and Malawi are tasting really nice at the moment, as well as Guatemala and Colombia and the usuals. I'm getting less and less questions about fair trade. I think people are realising there are other options, not just fair trade, and some people are questioning whether fair trade is actually fair enough. So there's other options like direct trade that have been coming to the fore. Direct trade is where a roaster will buy directly from the farm gate, bypassing any middle people, and generally the farmer will get a lot more than the fair trade price.
And heading back to Australia, I guess, some food service establishments say they can't afford a barista, or they can teach their normal staff, their everyday staff, how to make a good coffee. Do you think having a trained barista is essential these days?
Making espresso coffee is ridiculously difficult. You can make bad coffee, which is what 90% of espresso machines anywhere in the world are producing, but to make good coffee you'll need a trained barista. It's not difficult to train that barista. It's just a matter of getting them to taste the coffee and understand how to make adjustments when it's not tasting bad. A little bit investment in the staff and there'll be big returns in coffee sold.
And what are you noticing about the Australian coffee market? Does it stand out in any way?
The Australian coffee market stands out in the fact that the base level is much, much higher than I find in many cities.
And what are your predictions for the industry? Can you see something new happening, any trends changing?
I think customers are becoming much more educated with regards to coffee, and they're not going to stand for dirty machines, reheated milk, and a barista that is not being nice to them.
Right, okay. So at the end of the day, a smile still makes money.
Absolutely. Service is a huge part of a barista's job. When I'm tasting a coffee, I don't want to be tasting the barista. I want the barista to be pleasant with me, but I want to be tasting the coffee. It's not about the barista, it's about the coffee and the smile.